Okay, green box is up, live counter is up. We should now be live, based on past experience.
You're live.
Hello there, everybody, and welcome to the Storytime Network, in which we're going to try to avoid talking about one devil fruit for 2 hours.
Oh, look, it's Luffy's devil fruit.
Yeah,
Huh.
He is made of rubber. How did that happen?
Yo ho ho, we took a bite of gum gum.
look, that was funny the first couple of times you did, but this is like the fourth or fifth time you've made that reference.
Look,
Yeah, okay, it's fair.
it's the
That's
bit.
fair.
It's the bits.
It's the bit. Okay, but
It
no, but
is.
I think I can understand where you're coming from. It's like, but yeah, as we've learned recently. Oh, big old honkin' spoiler warning, by the way.
Oh yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna put a spoiler on it, wasn't I? Give me a second.
But
Yes.
this covers. I think we can afford to spoil up to like the most recent chapter, can't we?
Well, let's not do the most
And say
recent
we did.
chapter, but since we might be covering fights after this, we can cover up to the most recent fights,
Yes.
which
Okay.
ended a few chapters before the most recent one.
So now the spoiler warning is out of the way. Luffy's a
Give it
villain,
a
huh?
second. Give it a second. Gotta
Oh
do the
no.
color. Yeah, it's fine, but we got. Oh, that's not good.
We got it on. I saw it come up on screen several times. It's fine.
That's up on screen. You're good.
Black's not a good color either, really.
Well, we'll just
What's a
wing it at this point.
what's a good
Make it hot pink.
what's a good middle ground between black and white?
Hot pink, as
Gray.
Jack said.
Technically gray, but hot pink.
Yeah, hot pink does actually work. Fair enough. Go for it.
We know what we're
Milk.
talking about sometimes. So yeah, it turns out that what Luffy ate was not the gum gum fruit. Or rather, it was, but the fact
That's
that
not
it's
what it
called the gum
actually
gum
is.
fruit, yeah, it's not what it actually is. It's a result of a very, like an 800-year-old erasure campaign
Yeah, basically.
by
More
the world
government
government.
anti-assholes.
And in fact, what his fruit actually is a mythical Zoan that gives him the properties of both rubber and gum.
Of course, you're going to put in the obligatory Hunter Hunter reference in there.
Look, we can't make the yo ho ho joke anymore, so we have to like make up for it with other stale gags. Um, but yeah, human fruit model Nika.
Yeah, and basically, it still functions like you would expect a rubber fruit to at base level, but once it's awakened, it's a whole other ball game.
Once it's awakened, it's the Looney Tunes fruit.
Yeah, Gear
It,
5
it
Luffy
basic,
tunes, as I like to call it.
yeah, Luffy Tunes. It basically allows him to do like a limited reality warping
Yeah,
to some
basically,
extent.
localized tune physics, basically.
Yeah, uh, and it should be noted that. Okay, are we gonna address the elephant in the room?
I thought
Sinestha's not here, though.
I thought we already
Well, he was
covered
when the
Jack.
fruit was revealed.
I thought we already
Yes, he
covered
was.
Jack.
Anyways, say your thing, Fuzzy.
Yeah, so
Look at him. He's there, top of B tier.
yeah, so a lot of people, I have to imagine, were like, does this undermine Luffy's effort by retroactively? Basically, people were asking if this was a sort of narc situation in
No,
which
I don't think so.
I don't believe so. I believe Mill is the devil's advocate here to a certain extent.
I'm still reserving judgment entirely. I trust Oda enough not to go full Kishimoto and just, shit on the entire premise of his main character. But I have to say that when, the reveal was first made, my instinct was, or my instinctual reaction was negative. Just because I mean, my worry was more that it didn't seem like it was Luffy in control during Gear 5.
How so?
At least at first. Luffy is very definitely in control. When he activates Gear 5.
I'm still not sure. I need more information. I desperately need more information about how much, because the fact that they have said that this Zoan is sentient is worrying.
Well, no, they said all
They said
Zoans have their own, have a vague sense of their own will, and they choose their wielders. Not that they're sentient, or like all mythical Zoans, at least.
Well, there is also the fact that any Zoan empowered weapons become like very base level sentience and gain the level of intelligence comparable to the animal that they consume. So that does line up with the facts that we have. So there is like a degree of sentience to the Devil Fruit in that they seem to be able to pick their wielder and bestow intelligence upon non-human objects. But beyond that, like, it doesn't seem to be much of a factor.
There does seem to be, for example, there does seem to be like some sort of hard-coded like an inbuilt instruction manual, if you will.
Yeah.
Because like as we actually saw this.
You eat a fruit. How are you supposed to expect that you're suddenly able to transform into animal X? You know.
We actually saw this with
Kaku, yeah.
With Kaku and Khalifa to an extent.
Yeah.
Basically, you kind of just know how to do it, and what's interesting is that the Gum Gum Fruit is an exception to that.
Seems to be partially because of its mythical Zoan status.
Well, yeah, but even Momo once he became an adult, even Momo figured out the flying clouds pretty quickly.
True, but he was under pressure. Obligatory Queen reference.
But yeah, the thing about, like, the mythical Zoans, right? We have several other examples of mythical Zoans, and none of those seem to overly affect the user.
Yeah.
So I don't think
the issue, the thing with the Nika fruit is that it has a much steeper learning curve, from what we can see, than the other mythical Zoans.
Explicitly, the Gorosei even say, they're even like, during its introduction, they're like, not only is it a steep learning curve, no one's awakened it since Joy Boy.
Yep.
That's an 800. So what this implies is there have been other users of this fruit.
Yeah. Just that they've
but no one's awakened it. But
awakening it, yeah.
And it has to reimagine that, like, okay, you want to know another thing that's kind of clues you in? The fact that Luffy's powers take people by surprise suggests to me that there've never, other than Joy Boy, there's never really been a famous Gum Gum Fruit user.
Any Gum Gum Fruit users between Luffy and Joy Boy have probably been pretty obscure.
Yeah.
Or have been, pretty much, history
strangled in the cradle?
That, or just, hidden by the world government.
Yeah, the world government is very good.
No, they also said they've never actually gotten their hands on the Gum Gum Fruit. It's always escaped them.
No. What I mean is that
they've been like propaganda.
The users have been stories of the users have been buried by the world government.
Yeah, past users have probably been unpersoned all to hell.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and I feel like this isn't exactly necessarily immediately relevant to the tier list, but we have to have this conversation, right?
It's kind of massively context changing for the entire series.
Yeah, and also, Mill, have you considered it from this angle? Rather than Luffy not being in control or the fruit making Luffy act a certain way, has it occurred to you that perhaps the fruit chooses people who would act that way anyway?
Maybe. I don't know, dude. As said, my instinctual reaction was not positive. I am trying to give Oda the chance to, explain it in a way that I hopefully will be happy with.
So, okay, what specific part was suggesting to you that Luffy was not in control? Because I'm looking over and I can't actually see it.
I think it was his behavior. Because even, knowing that Oda doesn't like fights to get too serious, there is still an element of seriousness that occurs, especially in, this fight where Luffy has a lot invested emotionally. And
I mean, he does get serious at the end of the fight.
Yes, but this is my reaction, during 1044. I would like to point out this is not my reaction now necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
This is me reacting.
Combination.
In the moment during 1044.
I think.
So I will say this is.
I think it's partially just the moment of awakening kind of triggers something in him. Just him finally being the most joyous of boys for the first time. And the other factor, I think, it might just be a shred of power high.
Yes, I think that was badly explained, though.
Also, this isn't the first time there's been a high-stakes emotional battle where Luffy's just been an idiot. And Looney Tunes it up. In fact, this is not even that uncommon.
Again, it's not necessarily the behavior, but it's his attitude during it. Yes, Luffy has done some fucking stupid Looney Tunes bullshit stuff during fights. That's just fucking Luffy's deal during fights. And that is completely Oda's bullshit. And that is exactly why Oda made Luffy the way he did. But as I said, it was his behavior that just didn't feel right, given what we know of Luffy. But Jack is probably right. A combination of elation that Gear 5 worked in as a thing, and the power high. I just think it was badly explained. The comparison there is spoilers for Jujutsu Kaisen, Gojo's behavior during the flashback arc after he comes back from basically the dead. That's a lot better explained. Yeah. That explains that he has just figured out something he's been struggling with pretty much in his entire sorcerer career, and has used it to come back from basically the dead. That man is fucking insane right now.
Yeah. Absolute massive power high there.
Yeah.
Luffy also came back from the dead, huh?
Yes.
Because it was straight up his heart stopped.
Yeah. And that makes sense. I think that's a decent explanation. I just don't think in story it was explained that well. I think the emphasis was more on, revealing the Joy Boy stuff.
I can kind of see that.
Which, fair, I guess, but, as I said, it just created a little bit of a disconnect for me, and it made me worry. Because, again, as much as I do trust Oda, there are far, far, far many more authors who would fuck this up royal.
Oh yeah. Excuse me. Just discussing one earlier in a different server.
Oh,
Mill was discussing it, not me. I was witness to that discussion.
I was? Which one was it?
The J.K. Turfling.
Oh, right, yeah, that one. I wasn't even... I thought you were talking about an anime series. I was just thinking, I haven't talked about Naruto that recently. Or Attack on Titan.
I love how Naruto was the first series you jumped to with that.
I mean, it's like the most prominent example.
Yeah, it's a One Piece contemporary is the issue.
No, you're not wrong. I just think it's funny.
Sanji's name was almost Naruto.
Yeah, and it's just such a high-profile incident of an author taking what made the main character special and just shitting all over it.
Mm-hmm. You're not wrong there.
Yeah, he went from the underdog who everyone hates to like
to
6
God.
different kinds of chosen one.
Yeah, 6 different kind of chosen one gods. Like,
not to mention the whole him being the having a bunch of special heritage all of a sudden.
Yeah.
When he was supposed to be a nobody.
Well, the whole point was he was meant to contrast with. Well. The whole point was he was meant to contrast with Sasuke, who did have the heritage. And then he's got more heritage than Sasuke.
You know what? In hindsight, do you know who's the real, like, underdog protagonist?
Please don't say
Bort's
Sakura.
dad's dad.
Yeah?
Because he was, like, an actual nobody. He has no, there's no clan, no heritage. He kind of just, like, came up with his own magic teleportation bullshit and magical chocolate balls and then just went ham.
Fair. I just don't care about Naruto anymore. I mean, I remember...
Yeah, no, he's like...
Remember after my undergraduate degree, I had a whole list of stuff I wanted to do once I was free. And I did initially include catch up on Naruto, or at least like finish Naruto on there. And then after I'd done a few of them, especially the manga-based one, I looked at it and just went, I just don't want to.
No.
I just don't want to.
Yeah,
so,
no, just like, sometimes you're just going to be like, no.
So I just replaced it with watch Haikyuu after having read it.
Okay. Nart does have one thing to its credit, though.
What?
It's probably got the most fun game series.
I'll give it that, yeah. I mean, the Ninja Storm games... The fact is, the Ninja Storm games are a better way of going through the story than the fucking manga or anime.
That's
because
hilarious.
You at least actually get to take part in the fucking fights.
They also, like, scale it up a lot.
Mm.
In a way they don't in the actual canon series. Like,
yeah.
they just abandon all qualms and go full DBZ.
Mm-hmm. Not
so
to
it's
mention,
like visually more interesting to watch.
On the topic at hand.
Yes, okay.
Well, one last thing for the Ninja Storm games. One last thing for the Ninja Storms games. Another reason why they're the best is you get to play with the best dub of all time, the neutral Spanish dub.
That is true. Yes, we must always remember that. It's the only way to. It's really the canon way. It's the only dub I approve of, honestly.
If you're wondering what we're talking about, go check out Team 4 Star's playthrough of Ninja Storm 4. where after trying the English and Japanese audio, they just eventually decide on neutral Spanish just because it's so funny.
Anyways,
yeah. So speaking of Super Saiyan and Full Dragon Ball Z, Oda finally has a proper Super Saiyan form.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I do think Gear 5 looks fucking cool. I'm not gonna...
It looks amazing.
Yeah.
And it looks even more amazing when he's like, I think one of the funniest memes I saw was the picture that was like the top text was like expectation, and it showed cool pose Super Saiyan Gear 5 and Nart yellow mode. And then reality was when he got his head bashed in by Kaido and was running away.
Oh, that panel was so fucking funny.
It's like, yeah. Though I will say, the people who are like, oh my god, why is it not serious anymore, have clearly just not read the rest of the series.
Yeah, they have not.
Again, my
Right,
my
people-
issue was not with the Looney Tunes, it was with Luffy's attitude during the Looney Tunes.
No, that's fair. No, I the issue I take is definitely with people who are killjoys.
Like, yeah, if people are taking issue with the fact that Luffy is a silly fucking fighter, yeah, they just haven't read the fucking series. They're probably the same ones who go, One Piece isn't political, guys. Luffy would agree with the
Yeah.
Republicans.
Oh, let's not even like get into that. Oh god.
Hilarious.
But yeah, so let's just
People
go
are
over an
just
overview of Luffy's powers then. First
So
off,
at default, rubber-esque body.
yeah, he has the
it's immune
properties of
to-
both rubber and gum.
Basically, completely immune to blunt force damage that isn't empowered by hockey. He also can stretch quite a bit, and he hits like a pistol when he stretches his punch back, to say the least.
So yeah, so
He's-
we do have to take into account, you know, the steep learning curve, because it took Luffy a long fucking time to master this shit.
At the
It's
same
literally
time,
a
though,
decade
like,
of solid training, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, he was a kid,
same time
but
though,
still.
well, he also was given a faulty instruction manual because he thought it was just rubber based, and he did not know.
No,
the
I
entire
think
property.
I think like it wouldn't have been relevant until much later anyway.
Yeah,
guess that's fair, but-
I don't think it would have changed anything
It's
if
not
he knew his
also
Zoan.
the reason. Just to give an example of the learning curve, Luffy's not the only child in the series who we've seen get a devil fruit.
Mm.
And most other children are able to like kind of master it very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. You mean
Right?
like
And
Momo?
like
Right?
Momo, Tama, Robin, like, and
The only
here's the
devil
thing.
fruit that's taken longer to master that we know of is Brook's devil fruit.
Yeah.
To be fair, that's not so much a mastery issue as that devil fruit is unique in that it has an activation requirement outside of eating it.
Yeah, like, to be fair,
Which is
it's kind of hard
very
to
rare.
experiment when the activation factor is death.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, like,
I mean, he
really,
also
if
had
you...
50 years to work with it, though.
That's true, yeah. And, like, I have to imagine that most people who eat that fruit would treat it as an extra life as opposed to treating it, like, using it for its actual soul-based powers.
Yeah. But even then, you know, once Brook figured out that, you know, there was more to it than just the extra life, he only took like 2 years to actually start doing stuff with it.
Yeah, we have to take into account, he did spend 50 years in a state of essentially cabin fever insanity.
Mm-hmm. And depression. Don't forget depression.
And a horrible depression and PTSD as well.
Not to mention losing his shadow at some point.
But on the other hand, with Luffy's power, holy shit, is that like a hell of magic truck
Oh, also, the other thing is that a lot of people would probably say, well, Luffy's just dumb, that's why it took him so long. No, not when it comes to fighting.
Mm.
When it comes to fighting, Luffy is a savant.
Yeah.
Yeah, Luffy is
Luffy
Goku
is
level
one
of
of the-
fighting.
Yeah, Luffy is one of the most talented fighters in the series, and the fact that it took him 10 years really should tell you just how steep the learning curve of the fruit is.
Yeah.
Another thing is that the fruit has very, very high requirements on your own base stats.
Luffy is ridiculously strong, even by human
Yeah.
standards in the series.
Yeah, no, just like, because, like, he is very much Garp's grandson. Like, Luffy could probably, if he had never eaten the fruit, he would probably be able to, like, still make it as far as he has on the basis of sheer raw physical strength. Right? If he didn't have the fruit and he just focused on
willpower.
getting jacked instead, he'd just be Garp 2.0.
Yeah, kinda. On the other hand, like the powers that he does get are obscenely strong. Like Gear 2 and 3 are pretty good on their own, but
Yeah,
Gear
so-
4.
Honestly, we honestly should have seen it coming. Gear 3rd, right?
Yeah.
Is
Gear 3
essentially a Looney Tunes move. He literally bites his thumb to inflate his fist and punch people with it.
Yep.
That's
It's like some Popeye shit.
No, that's like that is just every Looney Tune has done that, like at some point in their lives.
Yeah.
Also, you know what's funny? The fact that early on he would turn into a child after using Gear 3rd makes a lot more sense now.
What, you think that's his hybrid form or some shit?
No, I think that's his base human form, because he turns back to 10-year-old Luffy when he first ate the fruit.
No, he's smaller than 10-year-old Luffy. He's smaller than Chimney.
I don't
we
know.
have
I
Chimney
feel
as a
like
direct
he's kind of like
comparison.
I think he's kind of like Chopper in that his baseline, what he is his hybrid form.
It's hard to say. We don't really know what the whole hybrid process is with the Nika fruit because it is kind of a
you know what's
ridiculous
interesting?
fruit.
No, because we do have context for another human fruit. The baseline human fruit, really. The reason I say that is because, like, Chopper is unique among, like, Zoan users in that when he's submerged in water, he stays in his hybrid form. He doesn't revert back to his, base form.
This is true.
Every other Zoan, even, like, I'm pretty sure even animal Zoans, revert back to their, base form instead of their hybrid form when they're submerged in water.
I mean, the one to test that would be Jack, considering got dropped to the bottom of the ocean.
He
Right.
turned into his fishman form.
Yeah, which is his base form. Yeah, because he is a fishman, right? So, yeah, it is very, very interesting. Like, I'm, like, half convinced the Gum Gum fruit is just one of the ancient weapons at this point.
Could be.
It's either Uranus or just something else, because, like, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if there's, like, if there was at some point a human fruit model mermaid princess or something.
That is speculation that we really don't need to be making in this video.
No, but, like, I don't think it's true, but, like, it basically, yeah. For further context, explicitly, the Five Elders, because they're kind of our source on most of the information for the... Because even Luffy doesn't know at this point, right?
Yeah, no, all he knows is that his he's got a Gear 5 now.
And it's weird.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure he doesn't consider it weird. Kaido had suspicions during the fight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of straight up asked Luffy, "What are you?"
Yeah, because he's like, this is not what a Paramecia awakening looks like. He would know,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
This is
Yeah.
not what I was expecting. Could you go back down to 4, please?
Yeah, I'm sure that did occur to him at some point.
It's kind of hard for
Like-
people to take me seriously when you're just, going inside me and bouncing around in there.
Oh yeah,
Luffy
we
was having
did.
a fun time.
Luffy was like having a real fun time inside Kaido.
God damn it!
Anyway, I think so. Have you decided that it's definitely not going and need more info?
No, it doesn't
Just
need more
based
info.
on what we've seen, it's a hard S tier.
Yeah, it's a pretty high S tier, honestly.
It's
It
just
is really the most ridiculous.
just a question of where, based on the fact that
What
there
we
is...
already have, because like I'm sure we haven't seen its limits yet.
Oh, absolutely not, absolutely not.
No.
But the fact is
But it was
that
like-
it does have a steep learning curve, and at least one of its special moves does take a toll on the lifespan.
Mm-hmm.
It's implied that that's more lack of experience than anything.
Mm.
Because like that's not
I
really
do-
a concern with it's not a concern with Gear 5th, and it's also not really a concern after the time skip, right? Like after the time skip, he can kind of just like go in and out of second without much trouble at all.
Yeah.
I think it should still be taken into account.
Oh yeah, no.
I
The
think
fruit has
it's-
its drawbacks. It's just that the strengths make up for those drawbacks and then some, in my opinion.
I think on the basis of well, it's definitely got to go higher than Katakuri.
Mm.
Right?
it turns
Just
out
baseline.
Fruit is superior.
Yes. It does definitely have to go higher than the Mochi Mochi fruit. The question is that its limit? I think it is safe to put it there just because, first of all, we need more information about its upper limits, and second of all, we have no idea what its floor looks like because we only have Luffy in context, and it did take him a decade to learn how to use the fruit.
Took him a decade to learn, and would the fruit be as good if it wasn't used by somebody with Luffy's determination and resilience?
Or just his raw physical strength, really.
Mm-hmm.
Because the boy was still capable of, like, knocking out tigers in one punch when he was, like, 5.
Well, not 5, but yeah,
Well, you know what I mean.
yes. He is very strong for even by baseline human standards in One Piece.
He was basically already stronger than a full-grown adult when he was 10.
Mm-hmm.
I still think that like the Gum Gum fruit even at base is just very versatile and very useful. It allows for a lot of mobility and strength amplifying capabilities, along with just like the sheer amount of creativity that having a rubber body allows a person to access.
And then if you can actually awaken it, which I think we have to take into account the awakening as well. If you actually manage to awaken it, it's just a reality warper, straight up. It just like allows you to turn the area around you into a toon world.
Yeah, it's
Oh my
localized
God.
physics.
Was Joy Boy Maximilian Pegasus?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Joy Boy was definitely Bugs Bunny.
Nah, Bugs Bunny is too much of a dick. Bugs Bunny is absolutely a fascist.
Bruh.
But
He is not a fascist.
but he-
Trickster.
Well, okay.
But
But
Bugs
he's,
is,
like,
Bugs is
definitely
a
a
gender
Republican.
fluid icon.
Yeah, no. Bugs Bunny, why are you slandering Bugs Bunny, Fuzzy? What has he ever done to you?
Because he's like mean to Daffy Duck, and I like
Daffy brings a lot of
identify
it on
more with Daffy.
himself. Don't act
True,
like
but,
he doesn't.
Yeah, but like Daffy has like anxiety and issues, and it's just like
He's still an
Daffy is more
asshole.
relatable.
Look, half the point of Looney Tunes is that they're all some degree of asshole. It's just funny that
Well, yes, of course.
they're assholes in a funny way.
I mean, why
You can
why
argue that
else
the
would
only
we laugh at Wile E. Coyote instead of sympathizing with him?
Yeah, because he's still trying to eat the Roadrunner, no matter how many times his
To be
comedic failure makes him
fair,
sympathetic.
I do sympathize a little bit with Wile E. Coyote because that's kind of just like, man's got to eat, right?
Yeah, but at the same time, you think he would go after easier prey.
Let's be real. At this point, it's not about the eating. It's about the pride.
Also, I don't think there is any other prey.
Then how has he
Literally, they're
survived
the
this
only two
long?
animals in that desert.
It's been decades in that fucking desert.
You're getting super sidetracked, guys.
Look, we're literally
where does
discussing
Wile E.
Looney
Coyote?
Tunes fruit.
Where does Wile E. Coyote get the money for his Acme stuff? Huh?
Guys, come on.
Prostitution.
Damn it, Fuzzy. Let's focus on the tier list, please. So we've got a pretty good idea of where to put Luffy. Now we gotta sort out the others.
Yeah.
Where are we
Okay.
putting Luffy?
Just
we're
just
bringing-
ahead of Katakuri. We'll sort him out later on. The only reason he's so low on the S tier. No, you were there.
He's
Yeah.
right there.
Above Katakuri.
Yeah, right above Katakuri.
Yeah. The only reason he is so low in S tier is because of the learning curve.
Yeah. Now, first adjustment I think we should make is the Maramara fruit. Because-
Which is...
Fire.
Fire. Sabo's fruit.
Right. Please
Because-
don't use the Japanese name. That's needlessly complicating things.
Sorry about that. Thinking back on it, like, as cool as the fire fruit is, I don't think it merits being placed right below its hard
Counter.
superior
Yeah,
fruit.
no.
Yeah.
I
It should be like a
I
tier
would even
difference.
say.
Especially since, like, the fire fruit
Yeah.
is
Honestly,
very powerful.
I'm-
It has a lot more easy counters than magma.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like the fire fruit is at best, like in terms of power, it's shown to be on par with the ice fruit, but that's only because of type advantage.
Yeah, it's also just like, as strong as it is, it's a purely offensive fruit.
Well, no,
It
it
doesn't
has a
have-
lot of mobility applications. It's a very high
it
mobility fruit as well.
True. It's just that it does not have, like, nearly as much of the
I
versatility
honestly
or raw
think-
power as any
Yeah,
of the
I honestly think high A tier is appropriate.
I think we could put it right above Smokers just because Ace and Smoker basically cancel each other out in Alabama.
Yeah, Ace and Smoker essentially have the same power set, except Ace has direct offensive power and Smoker has more utility.
But it feels like an appropriate placement. Because, yeah, I don't think the Fire Fruit belongs in S tier. As cool as it is, it has too many downsides and not enough, like, versatility.
Could probably get rid of spoiler warning now. We've stopped talking about
Yeah.
Luffy.
What else can we downgrade
So,
or upgrade?
let's. Are we starting from the top or starting from the bottom? I feel like it's more I feel like it's quicker to start from the bottom, just to do the cleanup.
Well, most of the stuff on the bottom is fine where it is. I do think a couple things could stand to be bumped down.
Some things can be
DNF
bumped down.
tiers
I think a few that could potentially be bumped up. So, okay, the F tiers are all perfectly
Yeah.
appropriate.
They're all kind of shite.
Yeah, Chihuahua,
and
Dachshund.
Dachshund should go in F tier, I think.
No, because like they all give a baseline strength buff. Right? They do something.
You know how fucking fragile dachshunds are, though.
No, I mean like the hybrid form. Every
Lasso was
zone
in
hybrid found
form.
gives... Huh?
Lasso was in hybrid form during the entirety of the Mr. 4 fights.
Yeah, but Lasso is a gun,
Yeah,
not a
but
person.
dachshunds are still weak as hell. And so are chihuahuas.
In that case, if we're putting them in F tier, we have to put the caterpillar in F tier as well.
I'm not going to complain about that. I don't really care about Apoida either way.
Okay, move those 3 to F tier then.
Yeah. They still all go higher than the axolotl fruit. Because that one is just, that one's just cripplingly bad.
Yeah. What's that guy? What's his fruit? Is he like a...
No.
I mean,
So at
I'm
least you have
pretty
the
sure...
ability to fly.
Okay, yes, if flight does bump it up. Tanuki can also go in F tier then.
Yeah.
What
Kinda
wins in
useless.
a fight, a Tanuki or a Chihuahua?
So
Hard to say.
is it just Tanuki, or is it everything up to Tanuki
Just the
going down?
Tanuki. The beetle can at least fly. And so can Buffalo.
It's got some utility. The mole gives you claws and the ability to dig.
Yeah. And Rust is useful against anyone who uses a metal weapon.
He probably has utility uses outside of that as well, right? Like demolition, stuff like that. Honestly,
Yep.
I don't think the silence fruit is like worth
It's not.
putting in C tier even.
It's D tier. It's
It's
extremely specialized.
yeah, and it's like the only use it has is assassinations when your target is asleep when they wouldn't notice noise anyway.
It's
right?
it's
Because
only
like
really used for stealth. Yeah.
yeah. And even that has limited utility because you still have to hide, and people will notice if there's just a pocket of silence.
Also, Law can just straight up replicate this fruit's entire bit power sets with his own fruits.
No, but true, but Law is overpowered. He does have one of the more powerful fruits in the series.
True. But that's just extra salt in the wound for this fruit. I'd say, yeah, D tier.
Koalas are fine. I think the Kilo fruit can actually go a bit higher.
Yeah.
Because it can go 10 tons at maximum.
Yep. And also
and that's
can
a
be
lot.
as light as a
Like,
feather
I think,
to fly.
Yeah. I think our opinions are a bit skewed because we mostly see people who can bench press 10 tons in their sleep.
Yeah.
But 10 tons is kind of a lot, even by the context of the One Piece universe. Like, most physical fighters just can't handle that at all.
Yep. I'd say higher C tier then. Probably like right below Cracker.
You agree?
I can
Fuzzy?
agree with that, yeah. It does have both utility and offensive potential.
Do you say
and
above
mobility
Cracker or
as
below
well.
Cracker?
Below Cracker.
Below.
Like, most food-based fruits at least have baseline utility of being able to feed people.
Below Cracker, yes.
What else can we bump down to D?
I don't think... Who's the one next to Alvida?
Which side? Left or right?
Left, to the left of Alvida.
Oh, that's Flamenco, the guy with the pocket fruit.
Pockets have utility, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, hammer space and all that.
Yeah,
Diamante was able to show that his decently useful.
Yeah, he can at least, like...
That.
I think Strusen could probably go a bit higher, just because of the AoE effects, right? Like, the ability to just control the battlefield is pretty impressive, all things considered.
He did turn a giant castle into a straight up cake.
Yeah, so I feel like just as a control type fruit, that puts him like above the genie at least.
Oh yeah, Diefocus fruit is kind of shit.
Yeah, Daifuku. Look, it has a lot of raw offensive kick, so I can see why
It's
it's somewhat high up.
its activation requirements is utter garbage, and it's utterly useless for anything other than fighting.
It's also got limited range.
Yeah, I think
It's
it should
like,
be lower
what
in C
if
tier, outright D tier.
it's like, look, Daifuku's fruit. Let's be real. It's an early part 3 stand.
Yeah, basically, it's like
In
Diet Star Platinum.
Yeah, it's like when stands literally all they did was like punching and one other thing.
Yeah, like I said, Diet Star Platinum.
So yeah, that I
Even
think that's a
that's
good
kind
place
of
to put
a
her.
So we're moving Genie Boy down
yeah. I think
to
it should
where?
go in D tier, honestly.
No, because like in terms of offensive power, if you can actually use it, it is pretty strong. Right?
Yeah,
It's
but like
offensively more
it's
powerful than everything in D tier. It's offensively more
yeah.
powerful. I like at the very least it should be above Spike Lady.
All right. I still think we should put it below Chaka then.
Below Chaka, but above Spike Lady, yes. I think Chaka should probably go a bit higher because, like, I think jackals are stronger than spiders. They've got a little less utility, but like,
True.
I
Spy.
think Chaka can go above Onigumo,
Yeah.
or even above the Hornet. Really, well, the Hornet has flight and poison.
Yeah.
So where are we
Also,
putting
Hornets don't
Chaka?
die when they sting you, so
Yeah. So Chaka, we would place above Onigumo.
Which is that?
Right
B
there. Right
Lady,
there. Yeah.
like to the right of B Lady.
Yeah, between Onigumo and B Lady.
Okay,
Any more in C tier?
who's the lady beside Kinemon?
That is Galette. She has the butter fruit.
Right. Okay, I think Kinemon can go lower, honestly.
Hmm.
His
How
fruit
much
is
lower?
100% pure utility. It's like it's
I mean,
making
it's not.
clothes. The clothes don't even have.
No, the clothes still exist. Like they can protect you from the elements and everything.
Yeah, but like that's just like not very relevant. The vast majority of the time, it's just not relevant.
Hmm. True. It's very specialized.
I think we can. I think he's too useful to be put in D tier, but I think he goes at the very bottom of C tier. Honestly,
Yeah, I can see that.
Below the
I still
koala?
want to bump out. Yeah, below the
below the
koala.
koala, yes.
I still want to bump at least one more down to D tier.
We don't have a quota, Jack.
I do. I'm just kidding. What about Cream Boy here? His
He's
fruit?
got like he's got the advantage of it's a fluid, and fluids have like utility.
Yeah, but we haven't seen him use it at all.
I think we can put him in more information needed because you're right. We haven't actually seen him use it.
He only really uses it to be a giant jizz monster.
There's a cream pie joke in there somewhere.
That's Cream
Yeah,
Boy. This one?
The
yeah, Cream
one to
Juice.
the left of Cracker, yes. The one who looks exactly like
Like you
what
would
we're
expect a
suggesting.
cream person would. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, put him in more information needed because like he's not done anything is the problem.
Yeah, he is basically useless as a person, and as an illustration of his devil fruit powers.
I'm very
Rip
interested
oven, I
in some of
guess.
the. Yeah, some of the more
Not
need
oven,
more
bro.
info. Yeah, some of the need more info things are kind of interesting, but we're probably never gonna really get more context for Suru's fruit.
Yeah,
Now that I
probably.
think about
Well,
it.
no, Suru is a significant enough character that you might see her in action more or see her in a flashback. Like if we get a Garp Singo flashback, we'll see Suru.
That's a very good point. That there's a non-zero chance we do get a Garp flashback, at least the Rocks fight. I don't think he's gonna make the entire Rocks fight off screen.
Nah, that's dumb.
I think Hina can probably go lower.
It's a very specialized fruit, yeah.
It's a lot of the things in C tier are just excessively specialized.
Yeah. Also, several of them are food based.
She's probably better than Diamante, but just barely.
I'd put her above Vanderdecken if only for the principle of it.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Vanderdecken
Put her
fucking sucks.
between Senior Pink and like it's very confusing for me because like Dressrosa has a character dressed like a baby and also has a character named Baby 5, and like my brain just crosses those wires sometimes. So I'm just like, oh
That's
yeah,
funny.
the Baby 5, the man dressed as a baby, and I'm like, no.
Anyways,
B tier, yeah. We can move up to B tier, I think.
I don't think there needs to be a lot of adjustment for B tier personally. Most of it
Like
seems pretty solid to me. Was that?
yeah, so Tama, yes, very situational. Barry's very situational. Invisibility is very specific.
Invisibility is a specific but very useful one.
It's useful,
Because-
especially. I think what sets invisibility apart from some of the other utility only fruits is that you can make other things invisible.
That and also just like invisibility is a much more broadly useful fruit than like the much more specific stuff. Like
Yeah,
invisibility is still a very useful power.
just the assassination applications alone are just.
Stealth and assassination are the primary uses, but you can do it for a lot of other stuff too.
I mean, you can do
Yeah,
a lot of wide scale damage. Like Absalom did make bazookas invisible, so
Yep.
theoretically, you could just take a big old explosive and make it invisible.
Yep. But you have to be in physical contact with it is the thing.
Well,
Like, the
yeah,
moment
but
the
that makes
contact
well, you can sneak things in much easier, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's the ton fruit, so it makes sense. That's
Mhm.
like pretty strong. Inazuma is interesting. Do you know what? I wonder if we should put Inazuma in needs more information because we've never seen if he can use his fruit on people or not.
We don't really need to though. Him using it on the environment has been pretty handy. It's been able to make pathways and manipulate the ground around him pretty thoroughly.
That's fair, yeah. Okay. Wasn't this lady's fruit that she can just turn things into a toon world?
Yeah,
She's
the art
basically like
and turn things into abstract art.
the
issue
okay,
is, like-
art specifically.
The issue with her fruit is the targeted cloud stuff. Because she has to throw a cloud and it has to land.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Wait, where's the paint fruit?
It's higher. It's in a higher tier.
Okay, yeah.
Brush fruit, rather.
Right. Yeah, Albatross is fine. Is Morgan furry?
Not gonna answer that.
Because like, not a lot of people stay permanently in their hybrid form. Anyway,
Just
Hell and
to address the thing about Inazuma, he was apparently shown cutting people in combat at Impel Down.
Okay, it does have combat applications then.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just utility. That's good. It probably combined with hockey, it's fairly strong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wolf, leopard, anaconda, king cobra. Do you think Pooh should go higher?
I think a Pooh should probably go higher, yeah.
The issue is his drawback is quite big in that, it doesn't work on
You can just
anybody
plug
who
your
can't
ears,
hear
yeah.
him. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that is a pretty big drawback.
It's very good for surprise attacks, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
it's
think
fine
he's
where
I
it
think
is,
he's definitely
actually.
still B, but he can be moved higher if you want.
No, I think he's fine where he is.
Yeah, he's probably fine. Blade fruit is it's got
Handy.
offense and defense. It's pretty balanced, yeah. Giraffes are just monsters. Diamond would be higher if not for the fact that you can't move if you're full diamond. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of unique as far as paramecias go now that I think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Digging and stone are like fine where they are. Human fruit, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's up there because of the ability to grant sapience to an animal, which
And
is huge.
also, it has a lot of versatility. Right?
I mean, that's mostly just Chopper being a mad lad.
So, okay. Can we agree that Monster Point is his awakening?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Because it's consistent with all of the other awakened zones we've seen so far.
Besides Luffy.
Well, Luffy, awakened normal zones. Because,
Mm-hmm.
it even has. Do you know what? It even has the fact in common that early on it caused him to lose his rationality, which it has in common with the Impel Down guards.
This is true.
Because they don't have it. Like, Chopper trained to master it later. So, on the basis of just how physically strong the awakening is, especially if you give it to a stronger animal baseline than, like, a deer. Like, if you give it to an already large animal. Okay. I want you to picture this for a second. Oh, hang on. Does Zunisha have a double fruit?
Not that we know of.
In that case, what do you think would happen if you gave Zunisha the human fruit?
Think like Colossal Titan taken up to 11.
Right? So yeah, I think just the sheer, based on the sheer amount of power you get out of the awakening, I think it can go a bit higher. Still in B tier, but a bit higher than it is. I think it's definitely more of an all-rounded fruit than Bello Betty. In fact, we can probably move Bello Betty a bit lower.
I think Belly's fine where she is. But Chopper, we can definitely stand to move a lot higher.
Yeah.
Probably around Bonnie.
You think so?
You thinking a bit lower, closer to Khalifa?
Yeah, I think it just lacks the overall utility that Karibu has. So yeah, below
Caribou.
Karibu. He's a.
I have no idea how the fuck to pronounce his name.
Caribou,
Yeah.
probably a long O.
Caribou, probably.
Let me see what the.
It doesn't help that it has the exact same spelling as an actual animal.
Yeah.
Oh, it is Caribou. Long U.
Yes, so it's exactly like the animal.
Why would they spell it with
Why
an
would they
OU
just call
in
him
the
Moose?
English? Why would they spell it with an OU in the English when it ends with a U in the Japanese?
Because the translators are funky like that.
Yes, look, Mill, don't go there. You know I can rant for 3 hours about this.
Yeah, but there's defined rules in Japanese translation, which is that
Since when has Viz followed rules?
Anyways. Yeah, Chopper's fine, with the adjustments. I think I think we could stand to move Baby 5s for a bit higher. Because being able to basically turn your body into almost
Turn into
any weapon.
any weapon is, yeah, it's probably like in terms of, it also has a lot of utility, right? Like she can just like turn herself into a bomb to fly.
Yeah, and
So,
and she can generate from the explosion. So
yeah, so I think higher than Khalifa is appropriate.
substantially higher than Khalifa. I'd say like closer to Montdor or Bonnie.
God, like it's like in hindsight, you can really see the art style shift
Yeah.
because Khalifa's not received an updated artwork, has she?
Oh, long
Oda used to be really into the giant foreheads.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look at her. Her forehead is bigger than her actual face.
I've got
And
the
that's
right.
partially anime art style.
I've got the right
I
person,
think.
right?
Yeah, that's Khalifa.
No, I mean I'm
Yes.
I'm
That's
controlling
Baby
Baby
Five,
Five.
yes.
Yeah,
That
good,
is
good.
Baby 5, yes.
I wanted to
She
make
does
sure.
look very generic when it's just her face.
Yeah, it's the
Look,
you can see the frills of the maid
there's too
outfit.
many fucking characters for me to remember exactly what they fucking look like.
Okay,
So
I
where are we
think
putting Baby
Hancock can probably
Five?
go a little higher as well. I think Hancock's probably on par with, like, Baby 5. Or, not Baby 5, Bonnie.
Good to know. Where are we putting Baby Five?
Next to Giant Forehead Lady. Between Chopper and Giant Forehead Lady. You were there.
You're right
Yes,
there,
right
dude.
there.
Well, somebody said that no, we should put it higher than that, and then nothing got said after that. We
No,
just
I
started
said we should
talking
put
about art
Hancock
style.
higher. It was a
No,
non sequitur.
that was before you said Hancock should go higher. Somebody said
Okay.
no,
Yeah, that
Baby
was me.
Five should be up near Mount Montdor, whatever the fuck his name
Yeah.
is, Clownface.
Yeah, clown face.
And then
Yeah, I
nothing
was
got said
Discount
after
Baby
that.
Buggy.
Five. I was thinking Baby Five could go between Montdor and Leo.
I think Hancock can go higher just because we've seen, like, she doesn't need the attractiveness. Right? Like, she can just, like, make the heart, like, she has the petrification abilities baseline. With physical contact and also at range.
She can straight up turn inanimate objects
Into stone as well.
Stone.
Yeah, so I think Hancock deserves to go higher.
Yeah.
Let me just have a look at what the wiki says about the fruit. Because
Well, we've seen it,
as
right?
bad as I am with,
At Marineford.
My dude, you do have to recall that it's been a long time since I've read some of this stuff.
You don't remember all 1,053 chapters of One Piece like it was yesterday?
God, no, I barely remember the last 15.
I remember One Piece better than I remember my own life. Straight up, I can remember shot for shot what happens in Marineford, but I don't remember what I had for lunch yesterday.
Okay,
But
so
yeah,
I think Hancock should stay where she is because she does have pretty big drawbacks.
oh, what's the drawback?
Well, the fact that, from a range, it does require, there to be.
Oh, it requires the attractiveness from range?
It requires attractiveness from range, yeah.
Like, unless it's it does affect non-living objects, and it does affect emotionless cyborgs like Pacifist does.
Yes, but that requires you to get, within
Physical contact,
within
yeah.
physical contact.
I mean, granted, so do a lot of the other fruits at the higher tiers, so it's not completely out of the question.
There's also not much utility to it, is there?
That's the thing, yeah.
Literally, all it does is turn people to stone. What?
Well, I think there's probably utility with, like, turning objects to stone to some extent.
Maybe.
But yeah, okay, yeah, I think it's fine where it is. Candy is just straight up worse than Wax. Karibu at least has like infinite space and the ability to suffocate people. Needle is just broken if you can use it properly. Okay, I have a question about Shinobu's fruit.
Mm.
Does it require consent, or can you just age someone to death?
Don't know. I haven't seen her do that.
I think until we know that, we should probably put it in needs more information. Because if you can
No.
age people and if you can age people and things infinitely, it's a touch of death ability.
Well, the issue there is that she needs to touch it, and it does seem to take some time for something to age. Like, it's not instantaneous in all cases.
True, but I feel like if it is a touch of death, then it is just a strictly worse version of Sugar's ability. Though it does have the side effect that it's permanent, whereas Sugar's wears off if you're unconscious. If she goes unconscious.
Mm.
Other than that, I think B tier is fine.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we can move up to A tier, I think.
Most of the stuff in A tier, I think, is pretty good as it is. Or at least pretty good in A tier.
Sabretooth, Giant Spider, Foxy. Healing, yeah. It's just, does Oven kind of look like Endeavor?
It looks like Discount Endeavor, yeah.
They do have the same build as well.
Mm-hmm.
Monet, it makes sense, yeah. Pudding. Hawkins, huh?
Yeah, straight
Did
voodoo
Hawkins
powers.
die?
It was very unclear.
Yeah, it was very unclear.
Heavy Ember Island player's energy.
Mm-hmm. That's still one of my favorite episodes of Avatar, just for how.
That's because it's one of the best episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, don't know. Regardless, Robin is good as she is, I think.
Yeah, Triceratops, Pachycephala, something.
Pachycephalosaurus.
Yes, Allosaurus, I still think the Brachio should go higher, just because of its sheer size.
Yeah, but then there's mobility to think about.
True.
Not to mention, like, a lot of the wackiness that Queen pulls is because it's Queen.
He's made modifications, yeah. No, but like just based on the size alone, right? Like they were basically unhunted, as far as we know.
Yeah, but
Because like in the same way, no one really preys on elephants, except humans, the most dangerous game.
Let's see, if you're going to suggest what I think you're going to suggest, I'd request you not to, please.
No, I was just making a reference to the most dangerous game thing.
No. I know.
Fortress is fine where it is. Rhizo is fine. Strings, I feel like, have a learning curve, so they're fine in A tier, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Painting. Wait a second, is the paint lady not on this list?
We just talked about her like 15 minutes ago.
The brush fruit?
No, Paint Lady as in the art fruit. Conjuro has a brush fruit.
Wasn't there a Baroque Works member who had a color-based fruit?
That wasn't just straight up hypnosis.
Yeah, that wasn't devil fruit stuff.
Oh, okay. I thought she had a fruit. Never mind then.
Nope.
You're right. She paired with Mr. 3 to make his wax creations look realistic. Right. Okay. Never mind then. Okay, so here's the thing. We know it can be used even if you're a crappy artist, but do you think we should put it lower because it has a learning curve?
No, I don't think so. I think
That's
it's
fine then.
because, like, in the hands of a really skilled user, it is devastatingly useful.
Even in the hands of an average user, there's things that are not that hard to draw.
Yeah.
Okay, Perona is only this low because her only weakness is crippling depression and low self-esteem. It's not just depression,
Specific
remember,
to
it's also low
Perona.
self-esteem.
Yeah.
Huh?
That's specific to Perona, though.
What do you mean?
Like, the crippling self-esteem and stuff is specific to Perona.
Isn't it not? Isn't it just an element of the fruit?
No. The depressing people thing, that is not a fruit thing. That is just whatchamacallit.
No, isn't it that the fruit makes people depressed and have low self-esteem, and it doesn't work on Usopp because he already is depressed and has low self-esteem?
Yeah, it works on other people. It doesn't work on the user themselves.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Ah,
Her only weakness, the fruit's only weakness, is people with crippling depression and low self-esteem.
yes, correct.
That's what I meant. Yes, that's the only reason it's not higher than it is. I think Magellan can go higher.
Bit higher in age here, yeah.
Yeah, because like the only thing, the whole spending time in the toilet thing, is entirely self-inflicted. If you
Yep.
eat this fruit, you don't have to eat poison that gives you diarrhea.
No, but he wants to.
He chooses to, but that's a Magellan problem. That's not a fruit problem.
Yep, that is very much a Magellan problem.
So where are we putting Magellan?
That's the
I was
question.
above Orochi.
Probably, yeah. The only thing Orochi like that fruit has going for it, that's better than the average mythical zone is the extra lives. Now, here's the thing. I want to put the Kitsune lady in needs more information because we literally have she was early on the list and literally we have no information on what her fruit actually does. We're speculating.
Well, we do
We
know
put her-
some stuff in that she is a mythical zone and she does have shapeshifting / illusion capabilities. Beyond that, we don't know much. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we don't
there's
know
too
enough.
much.
We don't know
We've
enough.
seen it. Like it showed up in one chapter. This is not enough information. I feel like.
No, it's not enough.
Yeah, we need to put like because like we were still early on because it was alphabetical. She starts with a C. She was too early on for us to know what we were talking about. I think the rest is fine.
We put there. It was Kurisu, wasn't it?
Or
was it
Kurisu, yes.
Lafitte?
Kurisu, yes, because like his.
Actually,
we have no idea what turning into a flock of crows.
I think it was
entails.
actually Lafitte who was the first one because we did actually rank Kurisu initially.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, so it wasn't until the L's that we really started saying, there are some people we don't know enough about.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like, for all we know, his fruit isn't Karasu's fruit isn't even a zoan.
Yep.
Okay, here's my question: who goes higher, Blackbeard or Crocodile? Darkness or Sand? Because they both have significant downsides, but they both have their own unique upsides.
That's a very good question.
Because, for like, Darkness has the downside of lower defenses. Like, not even just relative to. Apparently, the user just feels more pain and takes more damage. And Sand has the water weakness outside of just being submerged, in that it cuts away your Logia like invulnerability. However, may I make a point?
We're not going to do anything to prevent you from doing so.
Well,
I
it
think
depends. We might do something to prevent you, depending on the point itself.
I think the sand fruit's water weakness is much less relevant in later on, like in the New World and stuff, where basically everyone knows hockey.
Hmm.
Do you think that is enough of a justification to bump it up to A tier, or S tier, rather? Like the idea that the water weakness is much less relevant because if people know hockey, then it's doesn't matter if you get wet or not. Hmm. Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah, I can see that.
So, just quickly, Fuzzy, where are you getting the Blackbeard takes more damage because of the fruit?
The
Didn't he
fruit
say that
literally
because
draws attacks towards him. He said
yeah,
so.
he said didn't he say that like it also like causes more pain, like attacks hurt more when he's using the fruit or something?
Something like that, yeah.
Ah.
I mean, we're
Four, four,
unlikely to change the
one.
position anyway, so it's
It's
not really
during
that
it's
relevant.
during his fight with Ace that he talks about that.
441. I'm just going to check that chapter. That's when we, get any information about it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, on the subject of crocodile, so I think the water weakness is still relevant in that if both people's parties' hockey is equal, the water weakness comes into play again. But I do think it's possible that crocodile doesn't know armament, right?
No, I'm pretty sure he knows armament by this point.
And also, I'm pretty sure his observation is pretty good. Remember, you know what? I think this was foreshadowed earlier, because remember that he has this thing where his body automatically turns into sand? I feel like that's
reflex.
probably a... Huh?
He trained himself to do so on reflex.
I feel like observation has something to do with it, because remember, Doffy has observation and armament, and still wasn't really able to one-shot Crocodile. Right, during Marineford? Doffy chopped his head off, but it was just it. He used the sand weak thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if we do put it in S tier, it's going to be lower on S tier, but I do think it is deserving of a spot in S tier.
Crocodile or Blackbeards?
Crocodile.
Yeah, I can see that.
Right, just on the purely on the basis that when everyone knows hockey, the water weakness is just not as relevant.
True. Water is a weak ass weakness, though.
Yeah, but that's like every devil fruit. His is just a bit more pronounced.
Well, it's not
And I
just water,
have
it's
to
any liquid.
also. You do also have to take into account the fact that
If it ever rains, fucking crocodile is fucked.
That's why he lives in a desert kingdom. That's why he tried to take
and
over
artificially he lives in a desert and also creates a drought. However, I do think there's one thing we haven't considered is that Lokis can make more of their element just from their body, and it's not hard for a sand user to make an umbrella and just keep topping off the sand, like cycling the wet sand out. I think, let's be real. I think we think Crocodile and his fruit is weaker than it is because he was basically just deep-throating the idiot ball during that entire arc. Like, he had just become so arrogant. He basically had the whole big fish in little pond syndrome where he was so used to being the strongest person in the room that he forgot how to be competent. Like, he was just horrifically out of... Like, no, even, like, everyone agrees on this, right? Like, the only reason Crocodile lost is because he consistently didn't take Luffy seriously enough.
Yeah.
And by
It's
the
not
time
the
he
only
did it,
reason
he'd
he
already
lost, it's
taken...
just the main reason he lost.
Yes, the main reason he lost is because he didn't take Luffy seriously enough, and by the time he started actually getting serious, the damage was done.
Not to mention he was full tilt into a meltdown.
He was descending into madness, yes. He was, like, having a bit of a... It was a rough... Look, it was a rough day for Crocodile.
No good, very bad day.
So yeah, I think we can put him at the
terrible,
bottom of S tier.
Yeah. You all... Do you think Moria's fruit belongs in S tier?
Moria has more utility. Just based on the utility alone, I think Moria beats it out a little bit.
Just remind me, the decision is that
Blackbeard stays where he is, Crocodile moves up to bottom of S tier.
Right.
Okay, now we get to the fun stuff.
I think the S tier fruits are mostly good as they are. We might need to shuffle around, but other than that, I think it's good.
Do you think Whitebeard should go a bit higher?
Probably. He does have a devil fruit that is described to be able to destroy the world.
Yeah, so the thing about the problem, Whitebeard's problem really, is that he has no utility. He's a purely offensive fruit.
Correct.
Quake is a purely offensive ability.
Also correct.
I guess you could make an argument, because, like, remember that Whitebeard can, like, create vibrations just through his entire body, and he uses that to, like, break out of Kuzan's ice and things like that. So I guess you could make an argument that there's some defensive utility there as well. But it's got nothing in the way of, like, non-combat utility or mobility.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's purely offensive. So the question really is that do we put him higher than Yamato or not?
I think that Yamato's fruit has a lot of different abilities to it.
Yeah, like the ice, like the freezing on top of the physical buffs. Because remember, Yamato does get a lot of physical buffs from the fruit as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's a mythical Zelen.
Yeah. I think, actually, now that I think about it, that's probably why we decided on this, like, Yamato is the dividing line in S tier.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do you think Sengoku should go a bit higher?
Really?
No, because, like, it's got a lot of offensive kick. And, or actually, now that I think about it, it might also be a good idea to put Sengoku in needs more information. The reason I say no, because, like, we saw he did the transformation and he did one shockwave attack, and that's it. At least relative to the other people on this list, we've seen nothing of his moveset. Because, like, we don't know if that's all the fruit can do. Because I don't know about you, but
I think we have enough information to put him in S tier. Because he is still a mythical zone user, and he fought the Blackbeard pirates in their entirety on his own.
More or less one-shot them, yes. One shockwave did have them coughing up blood.
And he held them off on his own at Marineford.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if Sengoku and Garp had actually taken the field, Marineford might have gone very differently.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, it's possible that the fight would have continued long enough that Shanks would have had to get involved as well.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you think we put gravity a bit too low? The reason I say that is, like, even light is affected by gravity.
Yeah, we can swap the two. The
Yeah,
thing with everything above that, though, is that, like,
is utility,
he's
is
already...
pure utility.
Yeah, like, Kuzan
I
can,
do
like,
think, okay,
straight up negate the main weakness of Delver users.
yeah, I do think an arrow should go lower because while there is a lot of utility with his, like, advanced observation hockey radar, I don't think that is enough utility to justify putting him above, like putting that fruit in second place.
The thing with his Devil Fruit, though, is that it doesn't have any drawbacks whatsoever. Like, literally the only weakness is a fairly rare substance that most people won't think to use against him, and won't have the reflexes or ability to use against him. Plus, he's fast enough to easily dodge Luffy, even without Mantra. And Luffy can move really crazy fast.
But the thing is, like, hockey, right? Like, yeah, he theoretically also, an arrow would also, even without hockey, an arrow would be countered by Garp in a gimp suit.
Yeah, but that's because it's Garp.
Or, like,
That's
you
not
know,
really fair. That's not really fair.
well, I know. For example, I'm pretty sure if you gave Zoro some rubber swords, he could beat the crap out of him as well.
Yeah, we're talking about post-time skip Zoro, though.
Okay, yes. But yeah, no, I still think, like, hockey, right? He's not faster than light, so the only thing he has above Kizaru is the is the observation utility.
Well, that, and also he doesn't have the limiting factor of Kizaru needs to go in a straight line, Eneru does not. Like,
but overall, I think in terms of, I don't think the utility is enough. If we've put Kuzan over Kizaru, I think we should put, like, we can put him above Kizaru, but I don't think he should go that high. I think he should be below Kuzan then.
okay. I'm fine with that. He's still top 5, and it's still a very powerful Devil Fruit. Like, it says a lot that, like, a good third of the stuff in S tier is Logia.
Yeah, though that's just a consequence of the fact that it's designed that way.
Sure, but...
They're like they were the Logias are very much designed to be the high tier as far as fruits are concerned.
Yeah, they are pretty busted.
I mean, look at the fruits. They're Logias and ancient and mythical Zoans, and the absolutely reality warping Paramecias. Because remember, Paramecias are basically the grab bag.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, I think. Also, yeah, I do think we should put. You know what? I think we should put Fujitora above both Kuzan and no, above both Kizaru and Eneru. His gravity is just insane.
It is pretty hacks.
And nothing escapes gravity. Like, doesn't matter if you're light or lightning, you are affected by gravity. Literally anything in the universe is affected by gravity. The only thing that's maybe not affected by gravity is, like, the non-physical stuff that is, like, straight up fantasy material. But, like,
So
any physical
like
matter...
otters.
Huh?
Abstract concepts like otters.
Yes, otters are not affected by gravity because they're abstract concepts, but yeah, I definitely think this is a very solid top 5.
I'm just happy Marco made it into top 3.
Honestly, it's not surprising. Marco has one of the most balanced, all-round good fruits in the series.
Yep. And Kuma's fruit is just one of the most overpowered Devil Fruits you've ever seen.
Yes. Gravity can't affect otters, but Kuma can. Because he can push even abstract concepts.
Yeah. Which is
Also,
actually
he can
that shit insane.
Yes, he can basically teleport as well, right? Like, remember that, like, he can push himself to the point that, like, his speed is...
Immense.
Yeah, like, it only took a few days for him to move, Luffy thousands of kilometers.
Yeah, and within a local area, it's basically teleporting.
Yes, in a local area, like, basically he's supersonic, right? At minimum.
Yeah.
So, gas, the fact that it's gas and not like, something specific just makes it busted and it's wasted on Caesar's discount buggy, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's just buggy, but worse in every single conceivable way. He's a clown, and he has an overpowered devil fruit that he uses very poorly.
Correct.
But yeah, yeah. Um, do you feel like anything can be shuffled in the top 5?
Probably not. I'm going with this as it is, and honestly, like, honestly, like, Kuzan being as high as he is definitely in part because, like, he is basically immune to drowning.
Yeah, he
But
is the only devil fruit user who is immune to one of the 2 global devil fruit weaknesses.
Yep. Everyone else,
I suppose you can make an argument that Monet is as well, but like Monet is just the straight downgrade to Kuzan's anyway.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of which, I think she's kind of low in A tier now that we think about it.
Yeah, she should probably be higher. She should be higher than Orochi at least. Again, I think it's because just the lack of weakness to water. And I think Monet is another example of good fruit kind of wasted on a weaker user.
Yeah. So Monet should definitely go above her.
Because, like, based on what we saw, Monet doesn't seem to, like, have much in the way of hockey, does she?
No. Don't look like it.
Like, if, because, like, we have established that if a Logia's hockey is around equal to the hockey of the attacker, or even, like, they can mitigate the damage if not negate it completely.
Yep.
So yeah, I think put Monet above Orochi. She definitely deserves to be top 5 in A tier. Like the fruit alone.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think Kid deserves to be above Orochi as well. He's got a pretty strong awakening.
I was telling you this last time.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure you were the one arguing that Orochi should be very high, Fuzzy.
Yeah,
I mean, Orochi seems to be very high at all times. That's besides the point.
Stoner humor.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, look, people change. Okay.
This was a week ago.
Look, I don't remember who I was a day ago. We've established this.
I suppose so.
Yeah, I think for those of you who were wondering whether or not we could actually stretch a single devil fruit into a significant portion of time, we did in fact manage to spend half an hour talking about a single devil fruit and then an hour cleaning up the list. But I think this is our finalized One Piece Devil Fruits tier list.
Yeah.
That's finalized to me.
I'm gonna say I don't think we have time for the fights tier list.
No. We do not. No. Do you want to just call it then? Because like, there's not much we can do with half an hour.
Yeah. mean, unless there's any other sort of One Piece related topics you wanna, or Devil Fruit related topics you want to talk about before we call it a day.
I think so, yeah. But, like, the only real content left on this list is the filler stuff, and we've agreed that the filler is just not relevant at all in any way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's some, like, neat ideas in the filler Devil Fruits, I just do not have the energy to go through them all.
I mean, there's
wait.
there's Douglas Bullets, which is pretty much the only one I know of.
Yeah.
It's the only Stampede as a whole is kind of weird because it's
the
it's got a
thing
little
the thing you said about Orochi reminds me. Why were you arguing so hard for Waffle's Devil Fruits? It's really
because he can
not
like
that
eat
good.
anything. He can eat anything.
So can Luffy. You don't need Devil
No,
Fruit
but
power for that.
no, but like no, Luffy doesn't eat metals and stuff. Wapol can. Look, it's one of those fruits that, like, conceptually is much more powerful than Wapol gives it credit for. It's like we did
What did
rank
Wapol
Buggy's
end up?
fruit in S tier. So if you can rank Buggy's fruit in S tier, I'm sure you can rank Wapol's fruit pretty high up.
No,
What if we end up putting
Waffle's
Wapol?
fruit has the issue of like
Well, yes, it's got the big downside, but that still doesn't negate
Also-
the upsides.
it doesn't really have a lot going for it besides like eating stuff and combining things, and that doesn't really have a lot of utility outside of like as a business executive. Because we've seen him use it in combat and utterly suck.
I still maintain that's a Wapol problem, not a fruit problem.
What do you think, Mill?
I would agree that the usages we've seen that just aren't that impressive are most likely Wapol just being a fucking bitch. Um, but I would still say that it's fine where it is. Like I can't
I don't know,
I can't see putting it above, someone like Ivankov.
I really do not see it being this high, is the thing. Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense up here. Feels weird being up here. I suppose we just haven't seen it used optimally, but like, it's still not a great fruit, in my opinion.
There's a lot of fruit we haven't seen used optimally that we agree are good because it's we can spend the next several hours debating this. I think I don't think we're gonna get anywhere. I think this is just like a solid difference of opinion that's not going to resolve. Because it's all speculation at this point. Unless we can actually see it used optimally, we can't actually settle the argument one way or another. But yeah, I think we can call it a day. Honestly.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at the what's it fucking called, munch.
We can probably do that after one. It's not worth holding up the stream for one fruit.
Suppose so.
Yeah, I think it's about time we end.
Yeah. So that's everything.
Yeah,
about an hour 40. Because we can talk for a long time. It probably didn't help that we got into a fairly extended discussion about fucking
Luffy.
Not even just Luffy in general, but the shittiness of Naruto and shit like that.
To be fair,
that's your guys' fault.
I know. I'm not saying it's not.
I mean, you kind of gotta take the opportunity to bash Nart whenever possible.
But yeah, that's the end of the stream. So as always, thank you for watching. In terms of future stuff, Saturday I get a day off.
We're finally
Congratulations.
freeing letting Mill out of his content creator cage.
I'm on every day of streaming. I don't get breaks very often, and I'm looking forward to mine. But it will be the last of our Pride Month lineup as Jack, Fuzzy, and Lord discuss Yuri manga. Just a taster, so not going into any huge details. Hopefully, I won't be there to moderate. So it's up to y'all to moderate yourselves.
I'll try my best, but I make no promises.
So I would say have a spoiler warning ready just in case, but you shouldn't need one in general. Sunday should be doing D&D again. Still in jail.
Woohoo!
Felix is going to try and earn a rep.
That's going to go well, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Tuesday, not sure. See how people are feeling, but most likely Road 96 or Persona 4 Golden. By the way, Fuzzy, after you left, we had the last of Zoe's events, so you'll never have to see her again.
Oh, good.
Who's Zoe, and why does Fuzzy hate her?
Admittedly, she did get.
It's a long story.
She did get a teen killed. Technically.
Good.
We could have left her to die, but we decided to save her.
Oh, boo!
And died instead.
Huh. I guarantee there would have been a coin flip at that point if I had been on.
Oh, almost certainly, but you weren't. So Gen was able to make the decision on his own.
You know what? I'm tempted to do my own playthrough of Road 96 specifically to get to a point where Zoe gets killed.
You do that.
On the channel.
Next Thursday. Interesting thought. Not sure what we're going to do yet.
Worst case scenario, we just pull it. Worst case scenario, we just pull a tier list out our butts.
Yeah, but I want to do something new.
You want to do Monster Prom? We could do Monster Prom since they just announced another sequel for that.
Not exactly new. I was honestly thinking Fuzzy, do you want to do the World Trigger card game on Tabletop Sim?
We can go through the tutorial for that and try and figure it out.
It would be preferable if you're there, Jax, because I'd probably play better with 3 people rather than 2. But no obligation.
I'm not really a fan of TTRPGs for the most part. If I'm being honest. Or
we'll figure it out. We have
tabletop card games.
TCGs and CC card games. You can just say card games. Honestly, people understand what you mean. I don't think anyone in our sphere hears card games and thinks Parcheesi. Or is that a card game?
Oh, they usually think card games are motorcycles.
Yes. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining us as we talk ourselves to death over fictional produce. Thank you everyone for joining us. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Later.